that cow, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because these birds can get loud, but the cows are dumping 50 pounds of manure and urine out of their back end every day, which is a great place for all sorts of parasites and bugs and worms and critters and stuff to live in. So, instead of letting those hatch and then begin to cause problems with the cow, we bring in nature's sanitizer, which is birds, and in this case it's layers. And these laying hens rummage out or roam out from the Eggmobile, scratch through these cow pies you see, kind of eliminate them, and eat out all the fly larvae, bugs, parasites, so on, okay? So they don't get every one, but they keep it at a level that's manageable instead of, you know, spike level. These are 3-year-old Rhode Island Reds, so some of them have gone through several molts. That's why they haven't grown all their feathers back at times, so that's why some of them look a little bit ratty. We also put the oldest birds in the Eggmobile so that if one of them wanders off or gets hit by a predator, I've gotten most of the eggs out of her already. It's not a big deal.
That's good.
Anyway.
That's an
Good thing
idea.
to do with the birds after they stop playing.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, that is a good idea. That way I don't have to put them in a pot.
Close the doors.
And if they get taken,
try to
they'll
stay
get it.
about 3 days behind the cows because that's the egg laying cycle of flies in the cow pies in the ground, so you can be able to see it. And as we drive out this way, you'll see where they've reached out and gotten some and having it full. This morning when it was cool, they were, you know, fanned out all the way around this, about 200 yards out. And tonight when it gets cool, they'll do the same. During the day, they kind of go up under the shade and stuff. But you can see the impact they're having here and the impact they're having back there. But these layers there's feed up inside, they lay their eggs inside, and but here their goal, their task is to sanitize behind the cows. Eggs is a byproduct, and it just so happens that that they lay the world's greatest egg when they're doing what they're supposed to do. So because they're eating all the green material, they're eating all that, and it stays, you know, creates that really vibrant orange yolk and full of all the chlorophylls and the good cholesterols and all the good stuff. But the birds, what's really exciting about this is it's appreciating work in that if I was going to have to treat all these cows with wormers and vaccinations and things to keep them healthy, that's work I have to do. These birds do it all by themselves. I don't have to come out any day of the year and motivate them to do their job. They can come out and do it all by themselves. And then at the end of the day, they lay an egg as a byproduct, so you have value. It's a true value added labor. So a chicken does this work for you, but then adds value to her as well. Question back here, yes ma'am. Yes, they get free choice layer feed inside. They're cutting their feed consumption 10 to 20%. It's not as much as you think, but they're cutting it a lot. And it just depends on the season too. Like right now, there's no grasshoppers yet. When that comes in line, they really save their feed. So it just depends on that. Yes, sir.
About how many layers do you have here?
There's about 900 layers in these structures. There's these are 10 by 12, or sorry, 10 by 20 structures, and they will hold about 450 birds apiece. Just realize all you need is enough room for them to go in and go to sleep.
Right.
The rest of the time they're all outside, they got all the room they want.
Right.
So the only time that you need to actually fit them all in is at night, and they just basically need the size of their body to go in and go to sleep.
And do you move them at night?
And then, so then you close the doors here, and you can move them whenever you want. I mean, they like to get out early, so you want to move them quick.
Right.
But typically, we'll come out first thing in the morning and move. You don't have to move them after dark.
Okay. Gotcha.
You can, but you can close the door up and move them in the morning.
Gotcha.
Move them when they're in there.
Yeah.
But yes, sir. How often do we collect eggs? Every evening, about 4 or 5 o'clock, and they've laid all their eggs. We close up the nesting boxes so they don't roost in them and we don't want to make them dirty. But once a day is plenty. Yeah, exactly. Yes, ma'am. Good.
Do they peck each other or something?
Sometimes, yeah. That's why they're not going to bother you. But sometimes that's why I say they're older and have had a pecking order against each other. That's why they look a little bit rough. All right, questions? Yes, ma'am. it's a little quieter. Yes, sir. Right. Okay. Fencing and predation. Everybody wants to know that. Number one, like I said earlier, these are the oldest layers we have. I've already gotten egg production out of them for 2 years. They're already become profitable. If they wander off or get predatored, it's not the end of the world. It's not the difference in my profit and loss. The next thing is these predators are totally homing instinct. So you only put birds that are actively laying in the Eggmobile. So to train these in the spring, what we do is these birds go in here at night, we load them up at night by hand, in crates or grab them and put them in, and then, excuse me, and then they stay locked inside for 2 days. It's kind of 2 days, they're not real happy, they're not really comfortable, but then we move them away from everything they're familiar. The barns, the coop houses, wherever they were, you move them totally to a new area where they can't see anything that they recognize. Open the doors, let them go. That evening, we go out here, and this is a great job for the little ones. We put them out, and the little ones the birds want to go to sleep underneath underneath there. They want to look up, they want to roost, they want to go up, and they don't figure out. Now, typically during that day, the bird has gone inside to eat feed, so she's gone up the ramp at least once or twice, and she's gone in to lay an egg. So she understands the concept of going up the ramp. All we need her to do is understand she's got to go in there now when it gets dark. So for the first couple of days, we come out and just make sure they don't sleep underneath the Eggmobile, and make sure they don't, well, a lot of times, they'll walk right up the ramp and just sit down right in by the door. So you're gonna have to push them away. But again, it takes like 45 minutes, come out, couple people or a couple of kids, family. It's a great family activity. Enjoy the sunset, put the birds to bed, close them up, and you're done. And so after a few days to a week, they go in all by themselves, you close it up, then there's very little predation that happens after they go inside, because they're protected and they're up off the ground. And so that's why there's no fences, because they only roam out a certain distance and come back every day, all right? Hence the no fences, and that takes care of most of the predators. The other part of the predators is Michael, the guard dog, the big white one. It's roaming around here, you've probably seen him.
He's getting petted back here.
He's good at predators. He's a lot older now. He's not as effective as he was before. When he was young, he would predator protect a lot of the poultry. As you see, he's walking through the poultry and not chasing them. That's what you want, a guard dog that's trained for poultry. As we go to the netting, you'll see a different style where you can protect them from a lot of things without a dog. So we'll take a look at that and I'll kind of address it, but that's the specifics here. Let's go on up to the feather net. It'll be a little quieter and I'll answer a couple other questions and we'll see the netting.